Hey, Graciela, let me get that for you.
Oh, that's all right, Dominic. I don't want you getting dirty.
You look a lot nicer than I do. And besides, I'm used to it. My mom got me to carry the garbage out as soon as I was big enough to lift the bags, so I can take it.
You're such a gentleman, not like those other Goombas who work for Mr. Corinthos. Thank you, Dominic.
That's my pleasure. You have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hey, why are you helping the housekeeper? So, aren't you supposed to be working for my dad instead of helping Graciela with the chores?
Yeah, I'm a good multitasker.
Why bother?
Well, it doesn't hurt to be nice once in a while. Offer to lend a hand. You're lucky. I mean, you had it good. You had a kitchen staff, maids, people cleaning up after you all the time. And where I come from, the house staff was me and my mom.
Oh, so you're assuming because I'm the boss's son that I'm spoiled and lazy?
Well, that's not what I said.
Yeah, but you did say that I've been waiting on hand and foot my whole life while you've been in the real world. It's pretty condescending.
Yeah. I know I obviously rub you the wrong way. I don't mean to.
No, I think you do. I think you resent that I'm the boss's son.
Oh. Looks like I caught you red-handed with Sonny's garbage.
What are you doing here at Mr. Corinthos' house? Not that I'm complaining.
I came to see how you're doing.
Oh, I'm good. Better than ever, actually. How are you? I heard you almost died of hypothermia.
Yeah, that was a scary situation. I'm very glad I survived. And this guy here was my savior.
Dominic?
No, I just kept Lulu company.
He kept me talking to distract me from the rising water level.
Yeah, he's a pretty handy guy. First he helps you, then the housekeeper. Maybe one day he'll get around to helping Dad.
Wow, what was that about?
Well, I guess I'm not Michael's favorite person right now.
If he knew what I knew about you.
Yeah, let's not go there.
So why'd you want to see me? I was wondering what you know about Dominic Pearlie.
Not much. Why?
I just thought that you guys were close from the carnival because you were visiting him at the hospital.
I was worried about him, just like I would have been about anybody. But, what about you guys? You're dating? Are you seeing each other?
Oh, no. I mean, not really. We might, I guess.
You like him?
Something. He saved my life the night that Carly was kidnapped. I was drowning, and he was amazing. He's a really good guy. I'm worried about him, though.
Why is that?
Because he's in a high-risk profession, and I was thinking, since you seem to care about him, and you guys are from the same neighborhood, that he might listen if you were to advise him to quit.
You know, don't you?
That Dominic is really Dante, the cop. Your son. Yeah. I know.
So how did you find out about Dante?
After Dominic was hit by the car, I went to go see him in the hospital, and I found his badge. He covered pretty well. I actually believed him. Your son can be very convincing.
Oh, I know it.
And I heard him talking on the docks with Ronnie. I was drugged at the time. It's a long story. And I didn't remember at first what I had heard. But then it came back to me when I was in that freezing water with Dominic. I know he's undercover, and he is gathering evidence against Sonny.
So what are you going to do about it?
Why did you let Dominic come to Port Charles in the first place? When you found out that he was going to be undercover, gathering evidence against Sonny?
I didn't know. He was already in Port Charles undercover by the time I found out.
You are one of Sonny's oldest friends. He trusts you. Carly trusts you. None of them know that your son is working to put Sonny in prison. What about Dominic? His cover could get blown at any minute. You need to get him off this case before anybody gets hurt.
Lou, do you really think that I haven't done everything in my power to get my son to leave this town?
Where's this evidence?
This is real subtle of you to just come into my room. You might as well just have a sign that says I'm undercover.
Look, when you call and tell me to alert forensics and SID, and you've got something that connects Sonny Corinthos with Claudia's murder, well, then I'm just figuring that your case is about to break and your cover won't be an issue anymore. So now, what do you got?
This.
Ashes? Are you serious? Why don't you just pull a few banana peels out of Sonny's garbage can while you're at it?
Look, have them analyzed. I'm betting that these ashes will prove that Sonny killed Claudia Zaccara. Witness sees Sonny getting back to his house at 3 a.m. on the same night as Claudia's disappearance. He's wearing a light gray shirt with what appears to be a bloody handprint on it. I go to Sonny's house an hour later, and he's changed his clothes, and in the fireplace, the remnants of burnt clothing.
Well, let me guess. The fireplace ashes.
This is the first time the fireplace has been cleaned since that night.
Look, even if the bloody handprint on the shirt was Claudia's, I mean, Sonny didn't get to where he is by being a stupid guy.
All we need is a fragment of that shirt.
Yeah, if it's not up in smoke.
Look, take it to the lab. If Claudia's blood is on there and Sonny's DNA, that goes a long way to proving Sonny committed murder.
Dominic said he won't stop until Sonny's busted.
My son is a very dedicated cop.
He says he's trying to get justice for a cop that Sonny had killed. It's very admirable, but his life is on the line.
If I had a nickel for every time I said that to my son, I would be a millionaire.
So you can't get through to Dominic?
I don't see what there is that I can do short of confessing everything and throwing myself on Sonny's mercy.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you tell Sonny who Dominic is and what he's doing? Dominic hasn't gathered enough evidence against Sonny yet. So this can end before anybody gets hurt. Look, Sonny and you are old friends. You can make him understand.
You're making a lot of huge assumptions here. Sonny can be a very warm and generous man. He can also be deadly when you cross him.
Sonny values the people that he is close to. He has always been loyal to me and my father, and he has known you even longer.
I get it. But this is like the ultimate betrayal to him. This is not something that he's just going to forgive.
Dominic is your kid.
Trust me. If the truth came out, it would destroy his life. Okay, so I am begging you, right? He saved your life. Please return the favor by keeping his identity to yourself.
Okay, it's true. Sonny's fireplace ashes might be a long shot, but you always told me not to leave any stone unturned, right?
You can't get DNA evidence from incinerated clothing.
Yeah, and no murder is foolproof, especially one that's been covered up as quickly as Claudia's has. Look, we already have a witness Sonny doesn't even know exists. All we need to find is corroborating evidence, and this might be it.
Fine. I'll bring this to the forensic SID guys, and I'll try not to mind when they laugh in my face.
Sorry, I didn't know you had company. Ronnie, right?
Yeah, you're the girl from the hospital.
Yeah, Lulu. You guys seem pretty serious. Shall I guess what you're working on?